Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Johns Hopkins School of Education Master of Science in Education, International Teaching and Global Leadership, also known as ITGL virtual webinar. My name is John. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions. Also presenting today, I have my colleague from Office of Admissions, and she will introduce herself.
Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Tanya McMillan. I am an admissions coordinator here at the School of Education.
And also presenting today, we have Program Director, Dr. Richard Weisenhoff, and Program Administrator, Miss Betsy Mayotte. Before we get started, I would like to cover a few housekeeping topics. First, today's webinar is being recorded. We will be able to share a link with you after the event is complete. Also, please take a second to see if your mic and your video is off right now. Please have your mic on mute and video off at all times during the presentation. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Please type your question in the chat box and we'll read and answer your questions. Next, I would like to share the agenda for today's presentation. We will kick off the presentation sharing an overview of the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Then Dr. Weisenhoff and Ms. Mayotte will go over the details of the ITGL program. And lastly, we'll cover admissions requirements, financial aid, and leave the floor open for questions at the end. And to start, we are one of 9 schools at Johns Hopkins University. We began offering college courses for teachers in 1909 and then became our own school in 2007. We are proud to share that the Johns Hopkins School of Education is consistently ranked one of the top schools in education by the U.S. News and World Report. For school enrollment, we have approximately 2,465 students and offer more than 30 graduate programs, which includes doctoral, master's, and graduate certificate programs. And we also have a strong network of over 22,000 SOE alums. And moving on to faculty introductions. Dr. Weisenhoff is the faculty lead for the ITGL program. He received his Doctor of Education from the University of Maryland, College Park. His research focus is using technology to deliver personalized learning. And lastly, Dr. Weisenhoff's prior experience includes being the Executive Director of Academics for the Baltimore County Public Schools. Moving on to Miss Betsy Mayotte. Ms. Mayotte is the Program Administrator for the ITGL program. Her prior experience includes being the Associate Dean at the School of Education, Vice President at Thompson Prometric, Director at the School of Education, and Director of Development at Stevenson College. And at this time, I will hand the floor over to Dr. Weisenhoff for the program presentation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to give you an overview of the ITGL program. All of the material that we're going to be discussing today is on our website. And if you haven't been there yet, I really do invite you to go and take a look at the information that's there. You can also at any point reach both me and Ms. Mayotte via email with any questions that you may have. To begin with, let's take a look at the program objective for ITGL. And there are words that resonate with this objective that I want to make sure you understand. The first one is, this is a program for international educators. What we're trying to accomplish here is to make all of the students in our program innovative education leaders. Leadership is a key component to what we're trying to accomplish within the ITGL program. We want our leaders to leave here and to be the people in different school systems and businesses around the world that will transform school systems and make them a better environment for all of the students. There are different types of classes that you'll be taking, and I'll discuss that as we continue on with it. But there's a melding of both theory and practice in the 3 semesters of coursework that you hear. And what I mean by that is within the courses yourselves, the professors will share with you all of the latest theories about education and learning and the different subjects that they discuss. And then there's also the opportunity for you to go out into either the schools or businesses and really see how that is put into practice. Next slide. So why would you come to Johns Hopkins University and pursue the ITGL program. There are 5 bullet points that I'd like to mention. First one, and I'm going to start at the top and work my way around clockwise. The program is 33 credits in length, and we've developed it so that you can complete the program in 1 year, in actually 3 semesters. You'll come for a fall semester, a spring semester, and end during a summer semester. At this point with the pandemic, we've had to switch our program out from a face-to-face program to one where we do remote synchronous. So while you may not be in the classroom, we do use Zoom, and the classes are live and not taped. The expectation is that starting with your cohort group, all classes will be face-to-face. There's a real big focus on leadership in the field. All of the people that teach in the program, the faculty in the program, have all been leaders in the work that they do. And there really is an emphasis on helping you get those leadership skills. In fact, we have one course that we have called Global Leadership that all students must take. And really it talks about leadership management. We provide, we know that you're coming into a new country that you haven't been in before, although many of you have done your undergraduate work here. And it's important that you feel comfortable coming into a totally new environment, one where you may not have had any experience at all. And what we do is we have a cultural transition person who will help, who will be there to support you to when you first get here, to show you how to use grocery stores and banks, and really work your way around. And also during the course of the time that you're here, provide opportunities and activities for you to see what the US culture is all about, and to make you feel more as comfortable as possible, because we know that it is a little nerve-wracking coming into an entirely new environment. I've already mentioned the notion of theory and practice. All of the coursework will be very theoretical, but will be taught by people who are in the field themselves and share stories of practice. And then in addition, through a class that we have called Extended Learning, you'll be spending time out in either a business, if you're an entrepreneurship person, or in a school based upon your own interests, and see exactly what is happening within the United States system. And I can't mention enough about the faculty who will be teaching you. While I spend my time teaching with the digital age teaching and learning students, there are faculty who are assigned to work with each of the different focus areas, and each of them are leaders in the field. You can read books about them, you can go on and study about them, and you'll actually have an opportunity to be in class with them. We try to keep our class limits to 15 to 20 students in a class, if it's at all possible. So you have that opportunity to really interact well with all of the faculty that we have teaching the classes. So who was the program developed for? Well, we have 3 points that we want to mention here. The first one, the program is developed for those students who want to learn about primary and secondary global education leadership. So the program is meant for much more of a K-12 than a higher education person who really wants to study what happens K-12, but not just in the United States, happens globally. We have a course on global analysis policy, where what you do is you take a look at the policies in many countries around the world that they're using to lead them and to guide them as they develop their educational systems. So we really do have a global emphasis. We do spend a lot of time talking about cognitive learning theory, the latest research on how students learn, how our brain functions. There's a course on mind, brain, and teaching taught by the esteemed Marielle Hardeman. She brings in the latest research about the brain. So you'll get an opportunity to really become well-versed in what cognitive learning theory is all about and what the latest research is on that. And I can't emphasize enough the fact that we are a research institute. In every one of your courses that you'll be taking, you'll be expected to complete research. We really have a large focus on research, and one of the courses that you'll take will be an opportunity for you to learn how to do your own types of research. So as far as an overview goes, okay, so as I said before, the program is 33 credits in length, divided over 3 semesters. I will mention that we have a new focus area that I'm going to be talking about in a subsequent slide. We have created a Tefl focus area, teaching English as a foreign language. In that program, we have added an additional 2 credits that are, for the majority, online credits that you'll be doing in the spring and the summer, not in the fall. So instead of 33 credits for the Tefl, there'll be a 35 credit program. The classes will be delivered face-to-face. All classes will be offered at the Johns Hopkins University Baltimore campus. We call it the Homewood campus. And if you've not had an opportunity to take a look, go on to the Hopkins website and take a look at the campus and how beautiful it really is. This year we have 120 students in the cohort. They're divided up because of the way we've had to deliver the program this year. They're divided up into smaller cohort groups because each student had a different way that they would like to complete the program. But the expectation is that you'll be part of a cohort, which is nice because then you have a support group ready-made of other international students. And you become fast friends with most of the students within the cohort. And as I said, the program, unlike other master's programs, you will complete it in 3 semesters, and it's done in 1 academic year. There are 5 focus areas, and you can see them up there. For those students who are interested in learning about early childhood, and that usually starts at age 2 up through grade 2 in our elementary schools. You learn about early childhood education. The area that I focus my time in is on digital age teaching and learning. Those students who are interested in learning how technology can transform the classroom would select digital age teaching and learning. For those students who are looking to put together innovative programs, different than what the normal programs are that you may have in schools, we have a creative and innovative education focus area. Courses on creativity, on gifted students, on different ways that you can create programs that would be really different from the norm. This year, for the first time, we've offered an entrepreneur in education focus area. And that's for students who may not necessarily want to teach or be in the classroom environment, but want to be study the business of education and consider having companies that would support education. Those entrepreneurs would be very interested in taking the entrepreneur education focus area. And as I said, for the first time starting next fall, we're doing a new focus area called Tefl, Teaching English as a Foreign Language. And that's for students who want to go back to their homes and teach English in their home environments. And let's talk about that a little bit with the next slide. We have a specific slide for this because it is brand new, and the information is on the website, just like it is for the other focus areas, but we wanted to call out the new TEFL focus area for everybody. The admissions criteria is the exact same as all ITGL focus areas, and Ms. Mayock will talk about admissions criteria in a little bit. You receive a Master of Science in Education. So please understand, and it's very important that you do understand this, that the degree that will be conferred to you is a Master of Science in Education. Nowhere on it does it say ITGL or the specific focus area, but you do receive a Master of Science in Education. There are 5 courses that make up the TEFL program focus area. The first 3, language acquisition in TEFL, language and culture in TEFL, and program evaluation and learner assessment in TEFL are 3 credit courses. They're offered, the first one is offered in the fall, the second one is in the spring, and the third one is offered in the summer. Those courses are right now in development. They are not available yet. We have received approval to go ahead and develop them, and we will have them ready to go for the start of the new cohort group. The other 2 courses, Building Protective Learning Relationships for TEFL and Promoting Active Engagement and Learning for TEFL, are each 1 credit classes. And that's why it's more than just the 33. That makes the 35 courses. And those 2 1 credit courses are offered for the most part in an online environment. Because it is 35 credits, the tuition is a little bit higher than it would be for the other focus areas. The additional cost is to cover the 2 additional credits. There are certainly advantages of this particular program. And as you compare our program to other international education programs across the United States, there are points that I do want to bring out. First of all, we begin with a specialized ITGL orientation. It's done the week before classes begin in August. You'll be invited to come, and we'll spend a day or 2 with you, having the opportunity to share the campus with you, to talk about the different programs, for you to meet the faculty, to just feel more comfortable about being here in Baltimore. We have cultural exchange and enrichment activities. Last year, when we were able to do face-to-face classes, there were many field trips that our partner took our students to. They went to ball games, they went shopping, they explored the Baltimore area, and they went even beyond the Baltimore area and took a look at different events that were occurring within the area. So it's not just classes that you'll be taking when you come to the ITGL program. I talked a little bit about the extended learning. Extended learning is a chance for you to actually go into businesses and schools, and transportation. We try to provide transportation for you so you don't have to worry about having a car. Although a lot of our students do purchase their own cars when they come here, it's really not needed. There's a housing that's right off campus that you can take advantage of. And many of our students do not have cars. And that's why we try to provide ground transportation for people when we have our extended learning. ACE, who are our partners, provide social events and outings on a weekly basis, although some weeks they don't. As we go into the semester and work gets a little tougher, we tend to slow down on some of the social events so you have more time for your classwork. There is a blending of formal and informal learning. The informal learning occurs outside of the classroom through the extended learning, through the different opportunities that you can take advantage of while you're here at Johns Hopkins University. And then we know that English is not your native language, and that even though you've studied it formally within a classroom environment, you may not be as comfortable with English. All the classes are in English, and all the work that you do has to be submitted in English. So what we do is we have tutoring services that are available to you. And I really emphasize that with my students, that especially with their first few papers that they submit, that they should work with the tutors who will help them with their grammar to ensure that it's as accurate as possible. We also are very flexible. One of the messages I give to all of our faculty in the faculty meetings I have with them is to not mark students off for poor grammar. That the expectation is that you are coming in with English as your second language, not your first language, and that there are going to be some grammatical issues. So we try to help as much as possible. But we go beyond just language. We also provide tutoring if you're having issues with any of your classes, and tutors are available 24/7 to work with you. And this is the last slide that I'm going to be talking about, and it's how we actually divide the program up. So remember I said it's 33 credits. In the fall, you take 3 3-credit courses, 1 2-credit seminar class, and 1 extended learning course. The extended learning course has no credit associated with. The seminar is a 2-credit course, and then the 3 3-credit courses gives you 11 credits. So in the fall, it's 11 credits. We do more credits in the spring because we feel that you're more acclimated to being in this country and into the Hopkins program. So we do 14 credits in the spring, and you can see how we develop that. And then in the summer, because it's a shortened time period and you're working on your digital portfolio, which is your project in lieu of a master's thesis, we only require you to take 8 credits. And at the end of the summertime, which is usually around July 20th, you complete the program, and in August, we confer the diploma on you. There are different types of classes that you take. There are courses that are required that all students who are receiving a Master of Science in Education, not just ITGL, must take. There are ITGL core courses, and those are courses that anybody who is an ITGL must take, like that Mind, Brain, and Teaching class, or that Global Analysis policy class, or a global leadership class. Those are our core courses. And then within each focus area, you're required to take focus area classes. And those classes are only with the students who have also in the same cohort as you. And I can't emphasize enough that if you want to learn more about all the different courses and how it's all structured, that you visit our website, which is as up to date as can be. I'm now going to turn it over to Ms. Mayotte. Oh, sorry, to admissions, I think.
I believe this slide is for Ms. Mayotte going over the student testimonials.
Good morning, everybody. It's nice to have this time with you. Before you hear from my colleague, Sion, who's in our admissions office, we just wanted to share with you some statements from students who have completed the ITGL program. And you can see these statements on the slide called Student Testimonials. What we have heard from our students echoes some of what you heard Dr. Weisenhoff talk about, and that is a feeling of connection when our students arrive. So they really, as they go through the program as a cohort, begin to develop relationships with other students, and then as the year goes by, with their faculty. And so they really get a good sense of how they will come out of this program with the expertise that they have developed over the course of the year. We always feel, as much as we love to talk about the program, we understand it's important for you to also hear from other students who have been through this program. And so we wanted to share some of these thoughts with you. Again, in this first comment, we see that the ITGL is a place where students can connect with each other. They feel the support of their teachers and their classmates and feel at home here. Students always tell us that they find in their faculty the example of expertise in academic achievement here. The program, as you heard Dr. Weisenhoff say, is a blend of theory and practice, and our students really appreciate that combination of theoretical knowledge and then also practice in the field. And then finally, the name of our program, we think, says it all, that this is a program designed to communicate and to develop global leadership skills. And we do see that our students feel that that is what they leave the program having accomplished. So we wanted to share those thoughts with you. And now I'll turn it back to my colleague, Sion.
Thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff and Ms. Mayotte, for a wonderful presentation. So now we're going to continue by going over the application requirements. Applicants must submit a completed application, which can be found on our website. Keep in mind the application fee is $80. You will need a current resume or CV. Next, an essay must be uploaded. Please visit our website on the admissions webpage to learn more about the essay portion of the application. 2 letters of recommendations. If you are unable to have 1 academic letter recommendation, we will be able to accept 2 professional letters of recommendation. Next, we need all official transcripts, including institutions you may have taken courses but did not receive a degree. Again, this is from all post-secondary institutions that you have attended. And lastly, the application process begins with a 15-minute language proficiency screening phase, which is administered by the ACEE Global. And applicants who complete the screening phase and meet the admissions criteria will be instructed by ACEE to submit an online application to the ITGL program. Please visit our website to learn more about the language proficiency screening phase. For fall 2021 admission, applicants are encouraged to complete the application requirements as early as possible before the program reaches capacity. Application decisions are delivered to candidates on a rolling basis, typically 4 weeks after an application is submitted with all materials received. The final application deadline is March 31, 2021. There are a few additional steps you need to take in order to complete the application process if you're an international student. For non-US citizens from countries where where English is not the official language, you are required to submit a TOEFL or IELTS score. And also, if you hold qualifying degrees or have earned credits from institutions outside the United States, you must have your academic records evaluated by an accredited independent credential evaluation agency before you can be considered for admission to a degree program. And please note that it is the student's responsibility to provide the necessary paperwork and payment to an approved evaluation service and to request that an official copy of the report be sent to the Johns Hopkins School of Education Office of Admission directly from the evaluation agency. And lastly, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Office of Admission, we are currently experiencing heavy delays in mail, which is why we encourage you to have your transcripts evaluated as soon as possible. And if you're interested in applying for financial aid, we strongly encourage you to apply for financial aid when you start your application. And please note the recommended submission of the FAFSA application, which is next year, March 15. And please visit our website if you have any questions relating to financial aid. And at this time, I will pass it on to Ms. Mayotte.
Thank you very much, Sion. The information that you are now seeing on the slide called ITGL tuition and fees, this information is found on our website so that you can always refer to this again. And we wanted to make this very clear in the very beginning. So the tuition for the ITGL program itself is $48,000. If you have chosen the Tefl focus area, the tuition is slightly higher at $51,000. We do require a non-refundable tuition deposit of $3,000, and that is to be paid upon acceptance of the offer of admission. All of the fees, these mandatory fees, including insurance, and there is a technology fee, these are required to be paid by May 28th, 2021. So in other words, this is paid before the program begins. And again, the non-refundable tuition deposit paid upon acceptance of admission. So we can go on to the next slide, please. This slide and the one following will provide information for you about services that are available if you are interested in these services. These services are provided by our partner company, ACEE. You have heard Dr. Weisenhoff and Sion mention ACE already because they are such an important part of the way we deliver our program. Students who are interested in housing when they come to Baltimore have a choice of purchasing that housing through ACEE. The reason that our program decided to partner with ACE is because housing around the Homewood campus, unlike some graduate programs, we don't have a lot of housing available for graduate students at Johns Hopkins. And if you're coming from another country, it can be very stressful to have to look for housing and to equip it and to have it furnished with all of the things you need. And so for those who are interested, the housing is available very near the campus. Many of our students who are taking that housing can find it so easy to walk across the street and be at the library, the Hopkins Library. So this slide is a very detailed look at what the furnished apartments will include. Excuse me. All of the paid utilities that are included, and then other amenities that are nearby. And all of the information that you see right here on this slide is available on our website. So please do take some time to look at that. Again, this is your choice. So it's not necessary that you purchase this housing through ACE, but many of our students find this is very, very helpful to them, and just it's one less thing to think about as they're moving to the United States. So we can move on to the next slide. And the other service that many of our students are interested in taking advantage of is career services with ACEE. So the career coaching services include skills, development of skills and techniques that will help students as they are going through their academic program, with the idea that after they finish the program, we'll be wanting to find what is, for them might be an internship afterwards, or it could be a job, or it could be some activity in this country if they're choosing to apply for OPT, optional practical training, or it could be going back to the home country, wherever that is. So this is a set of skills that you would develop in working in partnership with ACE. Again, this is a choice, and you can find more information about this on our website. So as we near the end of our formal presentation, we wanted to remind you that it is very easy to be in touch with us. You can reach our admissions office, our admissions coordinator, Tanya McMillan, who is right here on the call this morning with you. And you have my information here. I'm program administrator. I work very closely with Ms. Carol Herman, who also works in the administrative coordination of the program. We are always available, and we are always delighted to hear from you, because we know you have many, many questions as you are making decisions about your future. And with that, I would like to turn it back to Sion.
Thank you, Ms. Mayotte. Thank you for attending today's virtual webinar. At this time, we would like to open up the floor for questions. And we get some couple questions that were privately chatted. And I will start with the very first question. The first question is, can ITGL TEFL Chinese graduate teach in the United States with a JHU TEFL certificate?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, Sion?
Yes. Can an ITGL TEFL Chinese graduate teach in the United States with a JHU TEFL certificate? And I can copy and paste the question in the chat box for everyone to see.
So I'd like to address that. And then if Ms. Mann has other points that she'd like to make, I invite her to join in. In the United States, you need to have a teaching certificate if you're intending to teach in a public school. And to receive the Master of Science in Education program does not meet the requirements for a teaching certificate. What we find, though, is that students who are interested in teaching in the United States do have the ability, if they want, to teach in private schools, because private schools do not require necessarily a teaching certificate. But our program does not provide that certification that states require if you're planning to go into a public school.
And thank you. This is Ms. Mayotte, and I would just add something that Dr. Weisenhoff said earlier, and that is the focus of the Master of Science in International Teaching and Global Leadership is very much on the leadership aspect of what you are learning in the program. So in terms of the TEFL focus area, our focus and our expectation is that students who are pursuing that focus area are really looking for ways of serving as a leader in the field of language education. And that could be in the United States or could be in the home country. So I would just add that as an important perspective as you're thinking about the program.
Thank you so much, Betsy. We'll read the next question from Jala Tang. I am from Wau, South Sudan. Most of the requirements listed here are quite difficult to meet. I am looking forward for your guidance. In addition, I would like to inquire if you have admission fee waiver. I will say that we do not have an admission fee waiver, Jelaine. I'm not sure if Betsy would like to chime in on any other points that were made here, but as far as the admission requirements, they are clearly stated on our website as well.
I'm not quite sure, this is Dr. Weisenhoff, what admission requirements you're specifically speaking of that are difficult to master. If you could elaborate more, or if you would like to take it offline and just email either Ms. Mayotte or myself, or admissions, we can certainly go over your personal requirements.
That is exactly what I was going to say as well. So we hope to hear more from you and are delighted that you joined us this morning. So please email us with any specific questions that you may have.
Thank you. And at the end of the presentation, I'll go back to the contact list so that you have our email address for the Office of Admission and of course, Ms. Mayotte and Ms. Herman. The next question we have is, I wonder if you could talk about how you help JQ students, staff members, professors deal with COVID-19. Besides, would you also share information about international students and their internships? For example, if you have any resources, career guidance, courses.
Ms. Mayotte, you want to take?
Sure, I'll be happy to. I'll start off on this, and there are many topics here. So in terms of COVID-19, I think it's fair to say that at Johns Hopkins University, all of us, whether we are faculty, staff, students, we have the great, it's a wonderful situation we're in because we have worldwide experts at our institution who are helping to ensure that everything we do operationally as a university and as a research institution and as a health institution is done with the very best science in mind. So as a result of that, our university frequently is putting out guidance for us, is having town hall meetings, is making sure that we are operating in a way that keeps everyone safe and healthy as best we can. And so that's why you heard Dr. Weisenhoff say earlier that this year our program is being offered differently. I would say that in terms of what's available to students, faculty, and staff, certainly the ability to have testing, the ability, this is for current students, faculty, and staff, all of that, you can actually check our website and you can see all kinds of information about how Johns Hopkins is handling the COVID situation, far better than I could answer right now, but there's so much information on the Johns Hopkins website. I'll say just a word or two about international students and career guidance and resources, and then would ask Dr. Weisenhoff perhaps to say a little bit more about internships. I mentioned earlier that one of the resources that we do make available to students if they are interested is the career coaching service through ACE. And that is specifically offered to help students assess where they are right now in terms of their skills and knowledge and preparation for career entry, and then developing an actual action plan that they can develop through the course of their year in the program. So we're very proud of that service that's available if you're interested. The School of Education also offers more general support and information to students in the School of Education. So we feel that there are multiple ways of accessing this kind of guidance and support because we understand all of our students in the School of Education are looking to take their knowledge and skills from the classroom into the world. And we hope to make that a really clear and helpful path. Plus, I would just add that you heard Sion mention at the very beginning, 22,000 alumni from the School of Education. So you have a very strong network available to you as a member of the Johns Hopkins community. And that's a really important part of what we want our incoming students to be aware of. You are part of a global network. And so I'll turn it back then to Dr. Weisenhoff, if you would please add any more that I looked over.
Sure, not a problem. So I do want to talk about the notion of an internship. Through the ITGL program, we really do not have an internship while you're enrolled in the program. What we offer is practicum experiences, a minimum of 4 hours per week, where you'll be out working, as I said, either in a business or in a school. So there are no real internships that are part of the program. We do have students, though, who do apply for internships outside of the program, and when they become available, we make them known to our students. For example, right now, I have an internship available for students in the digital area with a professor who is developing online classes, and it's a 6-week internship that that the students are applying for. The focus for a lot of our students is on OPT, optional practical training, that occurs once the students leave our program, and the word has to be on optional there. If you're interested in remaining in the United States upon graduation from the program, you can apply for an OPT, an optional practical training, and remain within the country for 6 months to a year, and have an experience that is not part of the Hopkins program, but is working within a business or an educational setting within this country. We do provide some assistance with that, but most of the students themselves go out and find their OPTs. So that's the one type of, it's not really an internship, it's something that happens post-graduation.
Thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff. Next question that we do have is, I come from China. Can I get the TOEFL waiver since I've studied in the US for 2 years and will gain a master's degree in May 2020? So the English language proficiency requirement, the TOEFL exam, can be waived if at the time you do enroll in School of Education, you'll have studied in a full-time status for at least 2 academic years in the US. So you can definitely fill out that TOEFL waiver form that is located within the online application.
Thank you, Tanya. The next question we have, actually, the next 2 questions are very similar as regards to being able to change focus area even after they submitted their application. So from Bella, she wrote, if I have submitted my application for creative and innovative education, I was wondering if I have a chance to change the focus area I've chosen to Tefl.
And the answer is yes, you can. Up until the first day of classes in the first semester, in the fall semester, you have up until then to change your focus area. What's required in order to do that is you need to just send a correspondence to me and to Ms. Mayotte requesting the change, and in 99% of the time we will change it. The only time you can change is once the program begins, because there's a defined sequence for the program. And once you take your first focus area class, which you'll take in the fall, there won't be time for you to go and then make changes. So you have up until the beginning of class, up until orientation, to make any change, to change out of one focus area into another.
So could I perhaps add to what Dr. Weisenhoff has just said? We certainly want to make sure that everyone is in the focus area that is going to make the program the best it can be for you. So we do support that. I would just mention that after you have paid your deposit and after you have made a selection of ACE services, all students will be asked to sign an acknowledgement form that will confirm your understanding of the program itself and your commitments to the program. And on that form, we are asking you to confirm the focus area. So as Dr. Weisenhoff said, it is possible to change even up until the program begins, but it is something that you do need to put in writing for us. So those of you who know right now that you'd like to switch to the TEFL focus area, first of all, that's wonderful. We're delighted to hear it. And we look forward to seeing your email, and we'll take care of that for you so that we make the change in the slate system for you.
Thank you, Betsy. The next question we have was sent privately. As an international applicant, I have sent the transcript credential evaluation through WES, and it stated that the document has arrived at SOE. How do I confirm that SOE Admissions has received the document? Because there is not an update in the online application. So at the end of the presentation, we will share again our contact information, and you can certainly send that email to me, to admissions. This is Tanya McMillan again, and I will follow up and look in the application to see if we do have it, and if we do, when we anticipate it will be entered in the application.
It looks like there are no more questions. Thank you again, Dr. Weisenhoff. Thank you, Ms. Mayotte, for joining us today and for such a great presentation. And of course, thank you everyone for joining us and your interest in the Johns Hopkins School of Education. We look forward to hearing from you. And on this slide, again, I'm sharing some contact information. Any program-related questions, please reach out to Ms. Mayotte and Ms. Herman. And then any admissions-related questions, please reach out to Ms. McMillan. And here are their email addresses on the slide. Have a great evening, everyone.